Welcome everyone to another episode of TerraFirmaPunk 2.0. I'll try to keep tonight's episode as quick as I possibly can because I still need to update this to the most recent version of TerraFirmaPunk. But as you can see, I have been very busy off camera. I have created a very crude Motte-and-bailey fortification here. Yeah, it's not particularly fancy, but it does its job at keeping the zombies and other monsters at bay at night time, so yeah, for the moment, this will certainly suffice. As you can see, I've moved the bed up here and just only added those fence posts for the windows. I've got a good view across all four sectors, so it's quite good. I've not added anything else up here yet, it's still quite Spartan, but that's for later on, I reckon. The main thing I'll be doing today is getting some better armour, because at the moment, as I go into my character screen here, you can see I am wearing nothing but the clothes I started in. So what I'll need to do is turn this hide here into leather armour. In preparation for this, I already have 3 barrels. One is filled with fresh water, the other one has lime water, and the third one has tannin. And to begin with, I'll need to put this raw hide into the barrel of lime water to create some soaked hide. But this will take quite a while before it's ready, so I'll have to keep myself occupied in the meantime, and I have just the thing. You see, whilst these walls, and indeed the Motte-and-bailey fortification itself, is made out of wood, which is okay, it's not great. Ideally, I'll be looking for a stronger type of material to build these defences out of, and my preference, of course, would be stone. And as fate would have it, I know exactly where we can find some, but I might as well show you the start I've made on this farm whilst I'm heading there. I've used the hoe to plough this land next to the pond and I've planted the tomatoes, the cabbage and the maize here. I've just planted random stuff at the moment and I'm not using crop rotation quite yet, but that's something I've got planned for a later episode, once I'm a bit more organised. I'll be making use of this flat land up here at a later date in order to extend the walls and create more buildings for the settlers to live in. Right now my main focus is on making this place as well defended as possible and ensuring that our farms give us enough food so that when the settlers do arrive, they will have everything they need in order to survive through the harsh winter. Now, with regards to the type of stone I'll be making the settlement out of, the rock here tends to be basalt, which is quite dark, so unless you're looking for a moody, dark, brooding kind of colour to make the buildings out of, or a theme to go by, ideally I'll be looking for something lighter. Now, when I did explore earlier, off camera, I found some granite, so we'll probably be using that to make the settlement out of because it's a lot lighter and it just looks a lot more cheerful than this stuff. And whilst we're heading there, we might as well pick up these berry bushes too, because as I mentioned in a previous episode, they are a very useful and renewable source of food. And I might as well take those soybean plants over there whilst I'm here too. There are some yellow bell peppers over there as well, but the best way to go for them is probably round to the left because I don't want to get too close and aggro those crabs to the right there. More bushes. Why not? It looks like one of them see me, but that won't be a problem. There we go. Sorted. And that looks like a vanilla Minecraft fish. I don't know if it's useful for anything, but I might as well keep it just in case. I might just leave these bushes here in the meantime. My inventory's already starting to get full, and I can always pick these up later on. But what I will need to gather in the meantime is this sand here, because I need it in order to make the mortar to stick together the stone bricks to create the brick wall blocks. And those will be used later on for building the actual settlement itself. Hey, check this out. The whales have names. Wraithville. And Howards. Oh, wait a second. How do the whales have names? I mean, who named them? And how do I know what the names are? Well, I guess it's one of Minecraft's many unexplained mysteries. You guys do of course realise that this opens an amazing opportunity for one of you to post an impressive fanfiction in the comment section below as to how this is the case. Who named the whales? Why did they name them? And how does our main character know what the names are? And, as a prize to whoever writes the best story, I will use one of my name tags and I will let them choose the name of the first domesticated pet that I come across. The only condition is the name has to be clean and it has to be sensible. Or as sensible as it can be, given that it's Minecraft. Anyway, here are the granite cliffs up ahead, which means we can finally gather the stones we need. Ouch, well I guess that's an example of how not to leave your boat. Well, at least it doesn't break into pieces like in vanilla Minecraft. That's annoying. I've just realised I've left my chisel back at the base, which is annoying because I'd planned to get some chiselled stone blocks as well as these stones as well. But it's not the end of the world, I can always come back later, off camera, and gather some then. When it comes to doing things like this, mining stone from quarries, or for mining ore in general, quite often when I come to do videos like these, I prefer to show you guys me doing it once, and the rest of the time I do it, because it's quite boring and grindy, I tend to do it off camera, so it means that for people that are new to this mod pack or the series, they have the benefit of watching me do it once, and then for the rest of the series it focuses on the new stuff instead. At some point relatively soon I'll start mining the basalt stone because I like to make the forges a different colour from the buildings around them, just to add variation to the settlements I create. Anyway, I've got 35 granite rocks, which is a good start, and from the looks of things it'll be getting dark soon, so I'll head back home now, and with the 35 I've got it should be more than enough to chisel into granite bricks, and using the mortar, which should be ready by now, I can make some stone brick blocks, which will be the main building block for our new settlement. I'll also add a marker on this location onto my atlas, not that I need it, but it does look cool having these points of interest marked on the map. Right, time to use our boat and head back to our base. As well as the mortar, the hides should be well and truly soaked as well, which means I can process the next step in making leather. Now, the reason why I'm making leather armour and not going for copper armour is because I want to save the copper up as much as possible and use it for tools, brass and also for bronze. Wasting it on armour which will run out very quickly and doesn't have much durability is a little bit pointless at this stage, especially considering how plentiful leather is and how it protects you against most low-level mobs anyway. When it comes to making my first full suit of metal armour, I'll most likely use either bronze or iron because the durability is a lot better and so is the protection compared to leather or copper. Steel won't be within my grasp for quite some time, as that requires another step up the technological tree to get there. Depending on how things go, I might be able to move into the Bronze Age within the next couple of episodes, but for the Iron Age, that's something for probably another 3, possibly 4 episodes later on, and definitely only after the settlers are safely here. And the reason for this being is that they need to actually be with me in order to see me progress to those different stages before they can actually learn it themselves, or at least that's how it's going to work with the series. So yeah, that should be interesting. And now that these reeds are fully grown, I can chop them up and plant more of them by the side of this river and get more of them later on. This rain's going to be a problem though, because come morning the sun won't be out and the zombies won't burn, which means I'll have to fight through them if I've got to go out and collect more resources. I'm hoping by that point at least I'll have my cool new leather armour, so that'll give me a bit more of a fighting chance. Yep, that looks like they're done. I'll just unseal it and take them out. Now, I'm not quite sure of the process. Do I stick them into the tannin first and then use the knife, or do I use the knife first then into the tannin? Nah, nothing's coming out as an output, so yep, I've got to use the knife first. Well, that pretty much explains it. What I will do in the meantime, however, is put this sand into the lime water, which should give us some mortar in the morning. Now here's the thing, I thought I'd already done this earlier, but I guess I was just getting ahead of myself. What I will need to do now, however, is scrape the leather using this knife. And I've got to put this log sideways, it seems. Now that's okay. Easily done. There we are. I do like the way you've actually got to physically scrape it using the knife to process it, and its textures change visibly in the game as well. That's a pretty neat touch, and it does add to the sense of immersion. Until your knife breaks, like that. Now the question is, do I have a spare? Oh, I'll have to check the chest. Aha, yes I do. Excellent. Right, back to work. Okay, so that's all three of the large hides scraped. So now I guess is the time to put them inside the tannin. Nope, I guess not. Oh, hang on a second, I've got to put these in water first, don't I? Yep, there we go, large prepared hides. Well, I got there eventually. Right, it's morning now, so let's see what we've got. On second thoughts, I'll keep this one closed. I'm not sure whether the rain will dilute the tannin or not, but I don't want to take any chances. And good grief, that is a lot of mortar. I wasn't aware that 17 units of sand produced so much. But hey, I'm not complaining. I'll leave the lid off the fresh water because the rain will actually refill it for me. Aha, there we go. Now we'll be getting leather. And now that we've got the mortar, we can make a start on making the brick wall blocks. But the first thing we need to do is to use this chisel to turn these granite stones into bricks. And now all that's left is to lay them out on the crafting grid with the bricks and the mortar, and hopefully we should get our complete blocks. Perfect. Now let's go outside and start placing them. I might as well use the shovel and start with the foundations. There we go. How much better does that look now, eh? I plan on making all of that tower out of this stone, and hopefully by next episode, most of it should be complete. Several in-game hours have gone by and the rain's finally stopped, so I guess it's time to check on our leather. Excellent. Right, let's take it out of the barrel. And to turn this leather into armour, we've got to put it in our toolbar, and in a process similar to crafting with clay, we cut it using the knife into the shape that we need, like this leather tunic, which we can now put onto our character. And all we need to do now is repeat the process for the other items of leather armour that we need, and soon I'll have a whole set. That's providing, of course, I don't forget any of the recipes, which is always a possibility. but if I get stuck, there's always NEI. Perfect. Now I have the whole set, I'm ready to take on the world. Or at least the low-level mobs. Anyway, I guess it's a good time to wrap up tonight's episode, and I'll go and update TerraFirmaPunk to 2.0.3. And as always, if you're enjoying this and you'd like to see more, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, that always helps. And once again, this is Robertson, signing off.